I was in the moment. So I understood everything that was going on. There was some surprises, I can say that, but me being in that moment.
Terence "Bud" Crawford finally spoke up about that late night stop where officers pulled guns just hours after his parade in Omaha, and his tone was calm but firm about what went down. He says he's sitting on strong video receipts.
Seatbelt.
Step out.
I'm opening the door.
You can take
I'm
mine
opening the
off
door.
of me right here on my right. I'm keeping my fucking hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Yes.
And claims the reaction from officers was over the top for a simple situation. Crawford laid it out in his own words. "That was so crazy. I was the driver, so I wasn't drunk or anything. We had no issues with the stop."
When everything that was going on, when it was happening, it was like everything just slowed down to me at that.
But pointing a gun at us when we fully cooperated made no sense. I don't know if they wanted to ruin our day or something, but that was unnecessary. He also said he spoke with Mayor Ewing and made it clear he's handling this the right way, not just for himself.
38. It's a blessing. Hey, listen, I appreciate all y'all for coming out, celebrating with me, from the parade to the party.
But for the bigger picture, he says he's already been in contact with officials who told him an internal review is underway, so he's not dumping all the footage online, yet out of respect for the process. In his words, "We have video evidence with us, but we'll release them once they're done with the investigation." He wants it fair, he wants it clean, and he wants it handled properly. Crawford didn't sugarcoat the bigger issue either, calling for real accountability so people don't get put in danger during regular stops.
Crawford, like I'm saying, I mean, anybody that's being held down and disrespected wants to prove everybody wrong. I mean, if you're a real champion, you know what I'm saying? And then they're holding it back from you. They're seemingly...
He put it bluntly, "I think there should be some sort of punishment for such cases. This is coming out because I'm famous and ordinary people face this every day and nothing is done. That's a heavy point, and he's not wrong to highlight the everyday folks who don't have cameras or headlines on their side. Even with all that, he still took a moment to celebrate his birthday on Instagram, keeping it cool and stylish like only a champion can. His caption read, "They say 38 is old, but I tell them I'm aging like fine." Then he added, "Wine, chapter 38 underway," and he stamped it with 38, 38, 38. Blessing. That's confidence and gratitude all in one. Now here's where it gets even more intense because Crawford's head of security, Qasem Shabazz, was right there in the car and gave a detailed play-by-play that goes beyond what most people heard at first.
I'm just saying, it's just like they doing Crawford like they did us the whole time. They don't want you to have nothing and they don't want to give you nothing. That's why they burned down Tulsa. That's why they burned down every other black community. They don't want you to have and they don't want to give you nothing. They don't want to be with you and they don't want to see you flourish.
Shabazz said, "A cop comes to my window and a cop goes to Bud's window. I know the protocol." According to police talking to KETV, while Crawford was reaching for his info, license, and registration, an officer saw a gun near his feet, and that's when everything shifted. As Omaha's mayor, John Ewing Jr., explained it, he asked Mr. Crawford to exit the vehicle, and he did. And then Mr. Crawford was placed in handcuffs, while they conducted their investigation, and the other passengers were ordered out too, at gunpoint, and cuffed, while officers checked things out. Police later said they found 2 guns in the car.
Hey yo, that's embarrassing by Omaha law enforcement that you will arrest, held on gunpoint, Terence "Bud" Crawford after having a parade in Omaha, after receiving the keys to the city? Huh? Hey yo, that cop gotta be some hater, bro. Hey yo, that's like That's like...
But also confirmed everyone in the vehicle was legally allowed to carry. Shabazz pushed back hard on that timeline, saying Crawford never even went reaching for documents and had already told the officer he didn't have them on him. According to Shabazz, Crawford said, "No, I don't have it on me. I left everything at home." Then Shabazz added, he had already told them, so there was no reason for him to reach for anything. That's a big difference in the stories, and it matters. Shabazz also said both he and Crawford were upfront about having legally carried firearms following Nebraska law, and that's when things got heated fast. He says it escalated after Bud said, "I have a firearm too." Then, according to Shabazz, the officer on Crawford's side snapped. The cop on his side then went ballistic, totally unhinged. Shabazz says the officer shouted, "Get your hands up. Get out of the car. Don't reach."
Bud Crawford, the current 168-pound undisputed champion, being pulled over at Blick Point in his own city. Now, the police have said that this was reckless driving, something like that. The police chieftain made a statement. The man, Terence Bud Crawford,
don't reach. But Shabazz insists there was never a physical gun in sight. That's a scary moment, no matter who you are. The tension was real. Shabazz said, everyone thought we were gonna die.
The NYPD holding Derek Jeter on gunpoint and arresting him after the Yankee championship parade in New York City, bro. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't even happen, bro. It wouldn't even happen. So this cop got to be some hater, bro. He must be hating on Terence Bud Crawford.
Man, and that fear is not something anyone takes lightly. After all that, Crawford caught a reckless driving charge, even though Shabazz says they were pulled over for speeding, which raises more questions about how it started versus how it ended. Crawford himself pushed back on the speeding claim in the moment and pressed the officer directly about proof.
He is the pride of North Omaha, our hometown champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the pound for pound champ, Terence Bud Crawford.
Hey! I'm gonna say that for tonight.
As he put it, well, how do you know I was speeding if you don't have radar? And then he added, he's got receipts too. I actually have the cop on camera saying I cannot. That's a bold statement, and if the video backs it up, it could be a major twist once the investigation wraps. I admit that I do not have radar, Shabazz said, and he still hasn't shared the video with KETV. After word of the traffic stop spread, Ewing said he got involved himself and moved quick. He and his chief of staff, Tom Warren, both reached out to Mr. Crawford, and according to Ewing, Crawford indicated he wanted an investigation. Ewing then contacted Police Chief Todd Schmier, who authorized an internal affairs investigation on the spot. Ewing is pushing for body camera footage to lock down the facts, not rumors. Our job is to not speculate. Our job is to get the facts out to the people of this community and then be transparent in every step of the process, Ewing said. KETV requested a sit-down with Omaha police, but they stuck to a written statement instead.
Just reflecting on all my accomplishments at my mama house. That's where all my belts at.
The investigation is still active, and Ewing posted on Facebook that he spoke with Crawford after learning about the stop. I acknowledge the seriousness of what occurred and how trust between law enforcement and our community is important and shows the need to be continuously vigilant about building relationships, he said. Ewing added that Omaha Police Chief Todd Schmier has pledged an internal review, and he's backing it to be deep, fair, and thorough. We will gather all the facts and be transparent with the public about our findings, he said. Understand that my heart dropped in learning of this end to an otherwise wonderful day and evening, he added, keeping it real about how fast the mood flipped. While celebrating the city's world boxing champion, Ewing urged people to keep the bigger picture in mind, even as answers are being sought. Hopefully, Omaha needs to remember this important day is a good one while we seek answers to how it ended, he said. He stressed safety and respect for every resident, no exceptions, no passes. Crawford became the unified super middleweight champion with a unanimous decision over Alvarez in Las Vegas.
Now I'll bring our mayor back up to present gifts.
I would like to have the honor of presenting you with the key to the city of Omaha.
Let's go, bud.
A massive moment for the sport and the city. He made history as the first male boxer to capture 3 unified division titles, legend status unlocked. Crawford's record stands at 42-0 with 31 knockouts, and the city threw down with a parade through downtown in his honor. There was also a 38th birthday party at a live music venue near where the traffic stop later went down, turning a celebration zone into a hotspot for questions. But hours after the parade, Omaha police ordered champion boxer Terence "Bud" Crawford out of his vehicle at gunpoint during a traffic stop for reckless driving, according to reports. 2 weeks later, he returned to Omaha for the weekend to mark what some called a disputed victory over Canelo Alvarez with a big parade, and the undisputed super middleweight champion showed out, proudly displaying his hardware. That hardware was a head-turning $188,000 gold ring belt, pure shine and serious bragging rights. The belt stays with Crawford as a personal keepsake, a symbol of conquering one of the most anticipated fights out there. Eminem even sent a special message to Terence Crawford for his historic September 13th win against Canelo Alvarez, putting a star stamp on the moment. Crawford moved up 2 weight classes and put on a clinical display that took away Canelo's best tools: clean work, no shortcuts. He proved his speed and agility still hit the same at a higher weight, sealing a spectacular win and silencing doubts with skill. Claressa Shields, Shakur Stevenson, and coaches Bomack and Davis were among the big names on hand. And even though he wasn't there in person, Eminem's message to Crawford was played at the event. Talk about momentum. Energy was sky high. Let's go! A big-name star dropped a video straight to Terence "Bud" Crawford, shouting him out in a way that had fans buzzing. "Bud, what up, champ? Congratulations, man. You did it. I'm so proud of you. You used all my tricks to beat Canelo, just like I showed you. You went in there and you got it done. Unbelievable, bro. All jokes aside, GOAT stuff, man. Congratulations, champ. So well deserved." That's legend talk right there, and the timing had everyone talking. Salute to the grind, and keep it locked with us for the sharpest boxing updates, real moments, and big-time moves. Tap in by subscribing to our YouTube channel and hit that bell so you get alerts the second we drop fresh, quality content like this. Stay tuned.